all volunteer celosia coming up in my dahlias. Okay, not all of it. Some of it's weeds, but some of it is. I'm going to be transplanting that later today. So, things are growing. Alright, let's talk about cut flower garden kits. These here are my sunflowers. They're pro-cut sunflowers, so we do not need to pinch them. They're good. And then we got the zinnias coming up here. And they're still small enough that I'm not going to pinch them. I got to do some weeding, but we'll talk about weeds later. So from there, I've got the zinnias that I started. These were the ones in your trays. See how you're going to get a succession plant, but it's starting to bud. I don't know if you can see that right there. So it's time to pinch those. So this is what I do. I don't have my clippers on me as usual. I never do. I'm never prepared. There's a weed. So what I do is I look at about right there. Hey, there's a lightning bug. Right there, I'm going to pinch. See? On the top, gone. And what that's going to do is make this grow. Now, if you didn't pinch yours, that's fine. You can actually let them bloom, and then when they bloom, you get your first bloom. Like if I would have just let that bloom, sorry. Then you cut. Just cut it. The whole stalk. You're going to have side shoots. The whole stalk, you're going to cut it off, and then it will continue to bloom. Now we're looking at the cosmos. Here's one that I did not pinch. And it's going to open up a nice little bloom. And I'm going to leave that. I'll cut it later. And then when I cut it, I'm going to cut it way down here. See, there's about 3 sets of leaves, and we'll cut right there. And that will make these side ones branch out. Okay, let's talk about the celosia here a minute. So, this is my celosia. I've pinched some of these and not others. But they're growing pretty good. If they start to get little blooms on them when they're this short, please pinch them out. I showed a few people in there the other day. I was over at their house and they wanted me to help them with their garden. So like this one here is producing some side shoot blooms. I'm just going to pinch that. I want these to grow tall. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about these snapdragons. I had a question about the snapdragons, that they're snapdragons. They were worried because they were getting buds on them. So these here are forming buds. I did not pinch those, and you do not have to pinch them. You can, but I would just let them bloom. And then the first time when they bloom, you're going to cut down here again. Okay? And then when you cut your first bloom down there, these side shoots are all going to send up new ones. So this one here also wasn't pinched. So I'll pinch this one. So if you want to, you can pinch them, and now all these side shoots will come up. Or you can leave it for the first bloom and then just cut it down there. I want to show you my Gumfrino. This is a huge no-no. It's blooming in the tray. These should have been planted in the ground like 3 weeks ago, and it's not good to do it like this because they're probably more root bound than ever. Let's pull it out and see. It's not actually terrible. It's a little bit. Anyway, so these are going in the ground, and I'm going to pinch off those cute little flowers. The blue cosmos look good. These are all self-seeded cosmos. I did not plant these. They planted themselves, and as you can see, I did not pinch them out. So they are getting a big, fat, thick stem. I'm going to come through with the clippers because those are too thick for me to pinch with my fingernails and clip those out. But they look so nice. And then the delphinium is really starting to thicken up, and we're going to get some more blooms. And we got one. This is why I should have put netting. I might put netting yet. This one fell over. But isn't that a beautiful, beautiful color? The poppies to grow this year. They're looking good. Lots of buds coming up. They're just one of my favorite cut flowers. They really are. They're just something fun about them. These are all my overwintered snapdragons. Some of them are too bloomed out. Some of them are good. These will be in bouquets, next week's bouquets, along with poppies. and some other stuff. But yes, aren't they beautiful? Just watching them in the wind. I have my favorite flowers ever is the yarrow. Also ready to be cut. Will be available in bunches, in bouquets, and for wholesale on Rooted Farmer. So the feverfew is pretty much done, as you can see. I'm gonna have to, I think I'm gonna take it out and plant new stuff. It is a perennial, but after a couple years, I don't know. I think it needs to be replaced. This is stuff I planted this spring. As you can see, it's quite a bit shorter, but it's blooming a little bit later, which is nice. So feverfew, which just smells amazing and it's kind of a fun little flower, will also be in bouquets next week. And for wholesale on Rooted Farmer. The straw flower. I have never had straw flowers so early, and I'm so excited. Look, they're just beautiful. And they, oh, there's a little ant on there. And they dry, listen to that. And then they dry looking almost like just like that. So I got a white, looks like I got a apricot, a beautiful burgundy one. They're just so pretty. So those are growing. I pinched some of them and I didn't pinch others. So the ones that are blooming have not been pinched. One rogue bachelor button. This is the bed that the dogs dug up. So this is all the space where I lost the Lisianthus. But this is where I put these gates over them so the dogs don't go there. But I feel like I still have quite a few. I transplanted out some of the lost ones. I weeded it all. It was awfully weedy. And yeah, they're growing. So Lisianthus, this is a mostly bed of white Lisianthus. We might have like a wine color down here. This doesn't look like much, but this was all the daffodil foliage from all the specialty daffodils from earlier this spring. And since they're all died back, I have this fence here. I'm starting to put some vines in. I have hyacinth bean vine, love in a puff, and I forget the other one. These are my broccoli plants. And we ate some out of there. I was so excited. And this, I believe, is purple sprouting broccoli. And I don't know if you've ever had that, but it's actually quite, the heads are delicious. I like to roast them in the oven. My lettuce is ready. Pull that out. Kale is actually way overgrown, but I've learned from Blooming Joy Flower Company, she started using it in arrangements and bouquets, and I tried that and it was absolutely gorgeous. Brussels sprouts. My bok choy got absolutely devoured by some sort of insect, so we won't be eating that, I don't think. And I have never grown eggplant, but I have a couple different varieties of eggplant I'm growing. One is more ornamental. It's not, you can eat it, but I think it'll look cool. And the other one is just a normal. We're gonna try eggplant parmesan. Strawberries, empty bed that needs to be cleaned out and planted. This whole bed right here is empty. It's full, actually it's not empty, it's full of weeds. But I'm gonna be cleaning that out. A tiny little patch of Bells of Ireland. If you've never seen Bells of Ireland, they grow kind of a really cool, you can start to see the bell shape there. So, yeah. Statice is a really cool flower. I know some of you grew it yourself, and this is what the shape looks like, and then it gets these heads on them. So some people were like, I don't even know what that looks like. So that's what they do. They get that head. There's a apricot color. I forget what that one is. This really, really, really cool, like purpley blue. And then I have like a mix with yellow and a lighter purple. Hurry now because it's thundering pretty good, but this is an old bed of Sweet William. And the reason I have ripped it out and I'm leaving it in here is I want them to go to seed. And I want to take the seeds and plant them for next year. So, well, it looks kind of bunky. That's what I'm going to be doing so I don't have to buy seeds. Everything here is pretty, but I wanted to show you, this is our huge compost pile. But we threw pumpkins in and we have pumpkins growing out of it. And we are leaving those. So, not everything is pretty. Pumpkins. This was the old pig coop taken down, but we fed them pumpkins all winter, and as you can see, we have our own pumpkin patch now. We're leaving these. We're going to see what they do. They're actually going to be really happy here because the ground is obviously super, super fertile from all the animals here. We're flower in the greenhouse. In the greenhouse, the ranunculus is all going dormant. And I'm going to be digging up the corms and storing them and planting them again later this winter. And then I have all lilies in crates. I planted them in different successions so they obviously don't all bloom at the same time. So these would be awesome for like wedding work and bouquets as like a focal flower. And they're all like a specialty lily. And I'm home deciding whether this fall to plant the bulbs in my ground or offer them for sale for your guys' garden. Let me know if that's something you are interested in. Then we have the Lisianthus I put in here, which is awesome and getting huge. I should have probably netted it. The stalk is done. I got to rip the stalk out and plant new stalk. And same with these snapdragons are pretty much done. There's a few good heads yet I'm going to harvest. Like this is way too open. So I'm just enjoying it in here. More lilies back there. And then this is one random sown blue plurum that I'm just going to let go to seed so that I can save the seeds for next year. And then, don't mind the weeds. And the anemones here are still kind of blooming. But I don't know. There must be a bug or something or the heat. They're not doing good. So I'm